November 10, 1985. A hunter stumbled upon a metal barrel hidden in the woods near Brook State Park. To his horror, he discovers the decomposing bodies of a woman and a young girl inside. 15 years later, another barrel is discovered with human remains found in the same vicinity. The victims' identities are elusive, and the reason why they were placed there evades investigators as well for years. This is the case of the Brook murders. Brook State Park is a 10,000-acre preserve in Allentown, New Hampshire, named after the stream that runs through it. It's one of the largest parks in the state, and since 1943 has offered a relaxing retreat for people who enjoy fishing, hiking, camping, and other outdoor activities. Winter activities, including snowmobiles, are available as well to residents in the area.
This is a very large park with a lot of things to do. There's picnic areas, camping grounds, hiking, cookouts, skiing in the winter, swimming, boating, hunting, fishing, lots of other amenities and facilities. It's a very warm and inviting area for families to enjoy all year round.
The serenity of nature's wonder was shattered on November 10, 1985, however, when a hunter discovered a horrific sight by an old burned-down store in the park grounds. As he looked around, he discovered a .55 metal drum near the site. When he opened it, he saw human remains.
Dismemberment is a very personal crime, and these bodies were dismembered so they could be shoved into a barrel. This is something that you have to be very hands-on with, something very personal with the victims and the murder.
Authorities identified them as an adult woman and a female child, but their actual identities were still a mystery, as was the reason they were killed and placed there. The bodies had been wrapped in plastic, and autopsies determined that both had died as a result of a blunt force trauma to the head. Authorities began to spread word about the investigation to media outlets in the United States and Canada. Despite the added attention, the bodies of the two females remain unidentified. There was nothing else for police to go on at the moment, and the case went cold.
Without even knowing who the victims were, there was little to go on in the case at this point. Both victims were almost completely skeletonized by the time they were found, and DNA was not widely in use yet in 1985.
Nothing else was discovered for 15 years, and the identities of the perpetrators of the crime were still undetermined as well. In May of 2000, however, another metal drum was discovered near the area where the first was found 15 years prior. Investigators in 1985, it turns out, expanded the search area around the original crime scene just short of where the second barrel was found. Inside the barrel were two more bodies, also completely skeletonized. They were identified as two young girls, and according to autopsy results, both had been killed by blunt force trauma to the head as well. Again, the police looked to the media for help, but again, nothing concrete ever came to light. At least 10 possible suspects were ruled out, and despite hundreds of leads, nothing substantial ever surfaced. In 2013, forensic artists created a more detailed three-dimensional facial reconstruction of the victims. This in the hopes they would be recognized by someone even almost 28 years later. These were redone again in 2015, but no one came forward that recognized the victims.
With advancements in forensic science and rendering, artists are able to make much more detailed recreations now and show depth and facial features like eye socket depth or a narrow chin. Giving someone a 3D view gives them more perspective and often makes it much easier to identify them.
It was not until 2014 when DNA profiling advancements helped to make a breakthrough in the case. Experts at the time revealed that the oldest and youngest girls were related, as was the woman. 1 year later, it was confirmed that she was the mother of the two girls. The third girl was unrelated, however, and who exactly she was unclear. In 2017, another break in the case came when investigators announced that Denise Bowden was connected to the murders. She had not been seen since 1981, but was not reported missing until 2016. At the time, she was dating a man named Bob Evans, who had reportedly abandoned his own daughter at the same park. The abandoned girl, Lisa, later revealed that Bob was not her father, and in 2018, DNA proved that the dead woman was not Denise Bowden. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children did their research, however, and announced that the middle child, unrelated to the other 3 victims, was the daughter of Bob Evans, the man identified as Denise Bowden's boyfriend. His DNA was available because he had already served time for the murder of his wife in 2002.
Authorities did not believe Bob Evans was his real name, however, and tried to get him to reveal who he really was over the years. Evans died in 2010 while in prison, and who he really was only came to light later through DNA testing.
In 2017, Robert Evans was confirmed as Terry Petter Rasmussen, a man with a dark past and shadowy record. He married in 1969 and had 4 children. One of his sons provided the DNA sample that confirmed his identity. Authorities believe he is the killer of all 4 victims. In 2019, DNA testing positively identified Marilise Elizabeth Honeychurch as the adult female victim, and her 2 daughters, Marie Elizabeth Vaughn and Sarah Lynn McWaters, as the other 2 related girls. The 4th victim is still unknown, but confirmed to be Rasmussen's daughter. Police believe Rasmussen killed all 4 victims before 1981, which is around the time he left New Hampshire. Later, in 2002, he committed a similar gruesome dismemberment of his wife Yoon Sun-jun and was convicted. He would go on to be known as the Chameleon Killer because of his vast use of different identities. Authorities believed him to be responsible for several other crimes as well, and as a result of DNA advancements, his secret identity finally came to light after his death. What do you think? Is it possible someone else could have even committed these crimes? How many other crimes is Rasmussen responsible for, if not? Let me know in the comments. If you have any information about this case, let me know as well. References are available in the description. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and consider subscribing. For in case you forgot, I'm Art Intel. Thanks for watching.